Welcome. You've splash landed into this Prosecco-laden podcast, straight into the woo-woo pool with the crew of Ohm-g. We're just a simple group of tragically imperfect and highly empathic BFFs, exploring a wide range of atypical topics with humor, grace, and curiosity. This is Ohm-g.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to our podcast. We're here with our woo-woo crew, and tonight's topic is friendship. How we vibe low, how we vibe high, past friends, present friends, future friends, and all the things that happen in between. Thanks so much for joining us tonight on
Ohm-g, the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So welcome to my friends here at the table and our friends out there because, we are so excited to have you with us, and we plan to air this during Thanksgiving, which is a time of family, and sometimes family is what you make it.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it's more friends than it is actual family.
I think there's an actually really interesting, the saying, blood is thicker than water?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with that.
Someone was telling me actually back in college that the Latin, which don't quote me, I don't know the Latin phrase, actually refers to the blood of made friendships is thicker than the water of the womb. So it's actually almost the reverse of what people think.
I
The
like
connections
it.
you
Yes.
build are stronger than your your actual blood or maternal relations.
I agree with that 150 million%. Yeah.
If somebody wants to look that up and tell us, please do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fact check us. We don't care. We have Prosecco.
Yeah, so, we want to talk about how friendship changes over the years and who comes into your life, who leaves your life, depending on where you are in your spiritual journey as well. Because I like personally, this is Brenda for anybody listening, I would say my friendships have been in little groupings.
Mm-hmm.
So like childhood friends from early childhood, then high school friends. Then I kind of went through a phase where I was a mother and really didn't have like friends that I hung out with because I had kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then, then I went through a divorce, and then I had divorce friends. Then we went out and had a good time. And then I started collecting in my tribe of people as I went along on my spiritual journey. And just in the past, since the pandemic started, I don't know about you guys, but I've dropped friends since then.
Yeah.
It's like friendships that were not.
Or the line has thinned, the line of connection.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can always snap back.
Yeah, and then I look back on those friendships and I'm like, what was that about? Like, what was that friendship about?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was easy because everybody was going and doing things. So whenever we were in the pandemic, if we wanted to see each other, it was more of an effort.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah.
you spend the effort on the people who really matter to you.
Right. People you resonate with and that you connect with the most.
To make you feel good.
Yeah.
Because if you've got friends who are full of drama and that feeds some part of you, cool. But otherwise, be careful. Protect your energy, but also just protect yourself and your sanity. I feel like when you're around so much drama all the time, it just gets to be draining.
It does.
It does.
Yeah.
And I had some friends like that in college. I feel like this is Alexandra. I have gone through phases like you have, and it's just like usually huge markers around the end of high school. And this has been to my detriment. I've always been a bit of an extroverted introvert, and I've always been better with people who are older than I am.
Ditto,
Easier
girl.
able to communicate with them than people my own age. It was just like, oh, you guys are rambunctious, rappy. I don't get this. But then it's like I've always been such a floater that I've always had so many interests that I always had pieces of this and pieces of that.
Yeah, right.
And it was so hard to find a group or a clique of people in high school that, got every part of me. So I always felt like, well, anyways, and I'm going to college across the country. So I'm going to keep in touch with a few of you.
Right.
Yeah, it's the hallmark of an old soul, I think, what you just described. Because just like you, I've always had older friends, or I resonated with those people. But someone like you, who's half my age, we vibe just fine because of who you are and who I am. And I would cut a bitch for anyone at this table. I really would.
Appreciate that.
How deep is your love?
Hear that. How deep is your love?
Goes all the way to the bottom of this glass.
Exactly.
For tonight, anyway.
Right.
My tolerance goes down as it goes up.
And I think it's interesting too, kind of like to Brenda's point earlier about, phasing out friendships or just this natural sort of fizzling out of relationships during the pandemic that we all sort of fused together. Like, you guys all knew each other, but like as a group of us, I feel like we really solidified that during the pandemic because we were, I'll speak for myself, and I feel like we're all kind of on the same page with that we were sort of taking inventory of what was important, right? Like when we were at home or in lockdown or whatever, you have to really make an effort to make communication with people.
Right.
And there were several people that I'm not really friends with anymore. And I feel, I wish no harm against them.
Right,
Only love and light.
Right.
I want to see them successful and happy in whatever that they choose to do. But
That's what Facebook is for, really.
right, exactly.
I want to watch you and see that you're successful and happy and
give you a like every now and again. And so on. But
Blessed be on your journey.
blessed be. Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's also important to mention it's like, I've had friends who in college I spent a lot of time with, I was friends with, and nothing bad happened. There was no blowout, but we kind of just went our own directions over time. And it was just, 5 days since I texted them or we had reached out or hung out. And it's just like looking back sometimes through my contacts on my phone, I'm like, oh man, I'm kind of bummed that I don't spend time with that. And at this point, it's like, it's been a few years. Do you reach out and go, hey, do you remember this person? Kind of thing.
Right.
But, and sometimes it's nice that people come into your life when you meet them and they kind of leave when you don't.
Right.
And sometimes they'll snap back 10 years later out of the blue
Yeah.
for a reason.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Ro?
Yeah.
Rosalie, she has friends from like
This is Rosalie, yes.
her growing up years that she still is in contact with all the time. And I'm not one of those people. I have occasional contact with some people. So why do you feel like you have that bond with those people from a long time ago? Because you're obviously not the same person that you were at 15, 16, 17, 18.
Well, the core group of friends that I have on the West Coast, and then a few of us are scattered across the country, but some of them, before I met them, were friends from kindergarten.
Wow.
So
Soul ties.
soul ties. And then we all went to the same Catholic schools together. We all fit in, and then we fit into the Catholic high school. And
Did you also feed into the Catholic guilt? I'm just
They did. You know they did.
oh, we did. We did.
But she's reformed.
Yes, I am informed. But we've been through so much together over those years because we had, and usually the Catholic schools tend to be smaller, so you get to know your classmates.
Oh, yeah.
So right.
Yeah, or you choose not to be friends with some of those people, but and it's kindergarten through 8th grade, and then there's no middle school,
Right.
and then you feed right into the high school. So,
I would have to agree with that. I went through private education up through 8th grade, and the last school I'd gone to was, I think there was 22 of us in my 8th grade class. And one of my longest and oldest friends is from my time there. And that's a great friendship because you don't have to be in contact all the time. I don't know about for you.
yeah.
But like 6 months could pass before we text or call each other. And we'll just call each other out of the blue and say, hey, and no time's passed at all.
Exactly.
And I love those friendships because they're not low maintenance, but they're just so easy and so comfortable.
It's natural.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just part of you.
And major life
Yeah.
events, you know
Exactly.
about it, and you can at least provide, whether it's Facebook or text encouragement.
Right.
That cord just sends, it doesn't break.
You might get some strange text messages every once in a while that causes you to go, what? And then call them. But it ends up being a really beautiful conversation kind of thing.
That's a good kind of drama.
Yeah, that's a fun drama.
Salute big savings this Memorial Day with Blinds.com. Upgrading window coverings can be a minor project with a major impact, and Blinds.com makes it easy. Choose premium blinds, shutters, and outdoor shades, just in time for summer fun. Get unlimited window treatments installed for one low cost, all backed by Blinds.com's 100% satisfaction guarantee. Shop Blinds.com's Memorial Day sale now for up to 50% off, plus premium doorbusters. Save up to 50% at Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
So I have a question for you, Rosalie.
Yes.
And for everybody at the table, actually, and for you guys out there too. Do you feel like you are a different Rosalie with different groups of people, or are you able to be 100% yourself with all of your different groups of friends? And
yeah, I mean, when I was younger, I was different people with different friends, like my work friends and my, growing up friends, and I'm trying to think.
Friends with children.
And then you just make these little connections. But like you say, people come and go. But with this core group of friends that I have, we can go a year without talking to each other.
Mm-hmm.
But the cool thing about the pandemic, and nothing's cool about a pandemic, but we decided that we were going to do a Zoom meeting once a week. And this started early in the pandemic because we couldn't visit each other because we would travel across the country, meet places and things, and we couldn't, like when we all turned 50, we said, we're going to meet in Vegas. And there was like 13 of us. And we all grew up, we were all that core group of friends. And after that, we tried to do a trip a year, and that was our plan. And the pandemic happened. So we're like, well, we miss that connection. If it's at least just once a year, we miss that personal connection.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the next best thing was Zoom. So, and it continues today.
Absolutely.
So it's almost been, a year and a half? And not everybody can be on that call every week, but, during the pandemic, when it first started, we were all there because everybody was home.
Yeah.
But now that life is somewhat returning to normal, we still keep that connection.
The circle exists.
It
Beyond
exists, but like
everything.
I say, it's like the kind of friendships that aren't high maintenance. We can go forever without seeing each other, sometimes years. And when we're in each other's company, it's like there's no apologies for anything. We just start talking, and the conversation flows like where we left off the last time. So
Isn't that what friendship should be, though?
it should.
That
Exactly.
brings me to a question that I have for you all listening. This is Aaron. For you all listening and for you all at the table, my husband Christian and I were recently talking about friendships and friends phasing out, and kind of having a similar conversation to what we're having here now at the table. And we both talked about how, from that core group of friends that you had, in elementary school, or your neighborhood friends or whatever, from young kids to now, how your definition of friendship or who you count as a friend has changed, or what requirements you all have, or expectations, I guess is a better word, for a friendship, to maintain a friendship. Because I prefer usually people who are not high maintenance, right? That don't need to be texted or called every single week or whatever. We can just, maybe 3 weeks passes and we shoot a text each other hey, thinking of you. Hope you're having a great week or whatever,
Or look at this meme. This is so you. And they don't even have to respond, right?
Totally.
Yes.
Right. Just
The
they see
like
it.
and heart and the laugh, things that have popped up on iPhones, and I'm not sure about Microsoft Google phones, but I've loved that feature because it's nice. It's just oh, hey, I acknowledge that I've seen it, I've read it, and it's it's funny,
I see you.
but I can't, totally type out a response right now.
Right.
That's been really helpful.
Yeah. So, Erin, do you feel like you're the same person with everybody in your friendship circle, or are you different people with different friends?
That's a great question. I feel like I'm different. I mean, at the core, I'm the same, but I feel there are different tiny little parts of me that come out subconsciously. So around you guys here at the table, I am a lot more extroverted and talkative, and
You're our warlock.
Yes. Exactly. Love that. And with at home with Christian or with my friend Cecilia, we went and had dinner last night, and we hadn't seen each other in probably close to a month. And her life is crazy busy. We've been friends
Since high school, right?
Yeah, we met in the high school art class, and ended up working together at our first high school job. And come to find out, we're actually second cousins.
Right.
Y'all know we live in a Bible Belt. Okay. So, look at your lineage. You know what I'm saying?
3 hours from Tennessee.
3 hours from Tennessee. Right. So
an hour from Virginia.
Right, exactly. So we were like, oh my gosh, we're related. And so we started talking. I have this very vivid memory of, let's keep the story short, but anyways, I have this very vivid memory as like a young child meeting her mom who passed away from breast cancer.
Right.
And
I'm related to that side of the family as well.
right. So we all have that kind of tie. And I've like, told her about that time that I met her mom. And she's like, that is so wild that like we met in a high school art class. Like, what are the odds of that? Or,
it was meant to be, huh?
It was meant to be, exactly. So shout out to Steve. But I do feel like overall I'm the same at my core with each friendship or group of friends or whatever. But
Your values are your values.
Exactly.
And friends respect that.
Right, exactly. Yes. But I do think there's a silly side or a more serious side or a better listener side or whatever that kind of, comes in and out depending on the context of who I'm with and where we are.
Right. I think my main question with that is, are you allowing yourself to fully, for all of us at the table,
Yes.
are we allowing ourselves to fully be in our true, authentic expression in all of our friendships, and not just interactions with people who are like, casual acquaintances, but people that we count as like solid friends.
Yeah, like our battery rechargers.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is Alexandra. I would have to say no because it's something I'm working on.
And it comes with age.
It does.
I've been so burned by some things that it's always been much more reserved. So, if you're working on that, cool. We'll work on it together. But, I've always kept parts of myself back because it's just comfortable, safe.
I think we do that as a like protection.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But definitely working on putting my foot forward and showing up for myself, not for other people. And I think that's important to do is, to say something I've learned is not so hard to not be the person, you think people in a group want you to be, but to be who you are is just, it's difficult to show them and go, hey, this is all of me, or, this is most of me. And still feel comfortable.
You're still learning, though. You're on that path, and you're way ahead of many people your age.
Yeah, for even having the awareness of it. Anyway,
yes.
Because I surely didn't.
No, exactly.
It's definitely come with maturity and just self-growth, trying to grow.
I think it's also important to listen to that thing inside you that says, oh, this person or this group of people will be good for me, or, they may be fun right now, but I don't feel that this person's going to be healthy for me in the long run.
Right.
Because there's been times
kind of like love matches.
Right. And to set boundaries, like instead of ignoring it, right? Like saying, you know what, like our energies don't vibe, and that's okay. Like I think we've talked
You might not want to say it like that to them.
No. Of course.
Because I'm just going to say some people will be like,
my
diplomatic.
energy don't vibe. No, but you know what I mean. But yeah, I think that's something that I really struggled with, honestly, until probably like 2 years ago. And I still have parts of that I try to be like, I realize consciously that they're showing themselves or whatever, but that I was a huge people pleaser.
Right.
So it didn't matter what I wanted to do in my mind.
That's an empath thing right there.
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
And I would have anxiety attacks about, well, what does this person think that I didn't show up to this?
Or if, like,
because I came
what
to this
you said,
yeah.
they take it the wrong way.
Completely.
The simplest of sentences.
Yeah. Or the tone of a text message. And I feel like that's something that...
But with two friends, you don't have to worry about that.
Right.
Exactly.
They can go bitch and put the phone down, and they love you the next day anyway.
Look at our group here. This is Rosalie again. Some of us do things together separately from the group, and nobody's offended. Like, oh, well, they didn't invite me and get all bent out of shape.
And I'm sure all of us have been in friend groups before where there's someone or multiple people who are like, oh, well, you guys hung out. Why wasn't I invited?
Right.
Because she lives 2 miles from me, and y'all don't. Come on.
Okay.
Exactly. Right.
And obviously, we talked about you.
Right. Aaron, that smelly ass can't pronounce the word Samhain warlock
Exactly.
And so I think that that's really important, is realizing when, for lack of a better phrasing, that your energy just doesn't vibe with someone, and that's okay. And that if you've been in a friendship or relationship of any kind with someone that no longer fits you or both of you, and that's okay to just say, hey, I feel like we've grown apart or things have gotten distant, and there's no hard feelings. It's just, I feel like our relationships doesn't fit in the way that it did. And I cherish our memories and what you meant to me. And
also, sometimes you don't even have to say anything.
Yeah.
It just naturally goes, and you just let it.
But like a rubber band,
I actually
it can find its way back.
I have a story about both of those, all three of those things actually. In college, it took me a while to find a group of people in college, and I really enjoyed it, found them through my dance team that I was on, and I was having a very crazy busy year. I was doing my last year of undergrad. In my first year of graduate school, no, I'm sorry, that was incorrect. I was fully in graduate school. I was doing a written thesis and a practicum type thesis, both a year long, plus actual graduate courses on top of that. And there was a group chat, and they would just text a lot because they had a bit more free time than I did, which was fine. And I just wouldn't answer because I was so, head down into my studies. And I'm that way. I'm just kind of, when a lot of stuff happens, I shut down.
And group was also really intense.
And group texts are kind of intense.
It was.
Right.
So sometimes I love you guys, but if I don't answer, it's just like, whoa, too much.
Yeah.
And so, I had to have a really uncomfortable conversation with a friend who's now back in my life, because I drifted apart from them because of the work I needed to do. And I think she's like, we got lunch, and it was super awkward, me being an introvert and, an empath, going, oh my God, dang what they say. And we met for lunch, and she's like, well, did we do anything? Did I do it? I was like, no, it was just, you guys were always in the group chat, and I felt like I was missing out on a lot of stuff, and I had a lot of work to do. And it was just, I shut down because that was, that was what I needed to do at that point. And I didn't, couldn't communicate that in an effective way. And so I really rebuilt my friendship with Christine, who will hopefully be a guest one day on the podcast. Yeah. But that was an uncomfortable conversation because, hadn't talked in a while, and it was like, she's like, are you mad? No, I just wouldn't deal. And then, but now our friendship is really strong.
Oh, and she's so nice.
She is. I might show up in New Orleans and just be like, look, girl.
Right.
Let's do it.
Let's party this raw.
Let's have a wild, fun night.
And, I'm someone, this is Camille, I have always kept a pretty tight circle of friends. And it might be because people that know the most shit about me, you keep them close, obviously, for good reasons. But my two BFFs from the city I used to live in, both named Lisa, friends since elementary and middle school, respectively. The band has kind of thinned between us, but you guys have met them, and they come here, they visit, and I'm just in a different phase of life, and they respect that, but we still keep up. I mean, these are the girls that held my hair while I puked in high school.
Right. Shout out Lisa Square.
Thank you. Mad Dog 2020 and Blues Farms. This was the 80s. But these are my ride or die. And everyone at this table, and even Kachandra, who was off, on her anniversary thing right now.
Happy anniversary, Tantra.
Y'all are my ride or die. It's just a different phase of life. And I will hold on to you tight in my fist like precious jewels until I die or Facebook dies, no matter where I live, because you guys are the fabric of my life. And cheers.
Oh, I love that.
I was going to say, I think that would also include you guys out there.
Yeah.
You're really a part of this group too. So
We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you.
We'd still be here.
We would be here, right?
Living.
But not going through all this technological stuff,
Exactly.
the microphones and the whatnot. But
dip your toe into our woo-woo pool and join us in a glass of Prosecco and let us know your thoughts.
whatever your choice beverage is.
Absolutely.
None of us are judging.
Yeah, so how about we draw a card regarding friendship? Rosalie, can you draw a card for us in the Oracle deck? And then maybe Alexandra, you can pull us a tarot card. And let it be about our friendship.
Yeah.
So just make that intention.
Bro, that is a big deck you have there.
Oh my goodness.
I like big
big
decks.
decks. I cannot lie.
So this card says stand still.
Oh, stand still for the deck.
Well, obviously, that's how we kind of came together was during the pandemic, and
When the world stood still.
the world stood still.
We were doing our meditative circles or our spirit circles.
Yeah.
We were still.
King of Swords. So intellect, somebody who cares a lot about people, and sometimes I think that's a good card for this group, is sometimes we care about the emotions, but we'll also,
Courage.
we'll just kind of go, hey,
We're going to
you're off your rockers on that one.
Yeah.
Straighten up. But with
We have the
love and
same
caring, and I think
word.
that's a really good card for us,
It is.
actually.
That's a good card.
So, Ro, what does your gut tell you about the standstill card? It looks peaceful and zen. And
Yeah,
I
so-
dig it.
So it kind of goes with the pandemic, thing where we all literally stood still
And went with
and went within, and
And this friendship that we bonded together has been meditative and
Exactly.
helped us all to go a little bit deeper into our inner selves,
Yeah.
do inner work
inner work.
than
Exactly.
maybe other friendships would be, where it's more superficial or hanging out and drinking or, going out to eat or,
Yeah. I feel like we've
We've
helped
had
each other
some
raise our
really-
vibrations.
yeah, we've
Like,
had some really deep conversations about things.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
the King of Swords also helps with that knowledge, that cutting, that, but also the intellect and what you're talking about, going deeper into yourself. It's a nice balance.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very good group to be a part of.
I appreciate you folks
Yes.
very much, you ladies and gents.
no,
Absolutely.
Thank you for our friendship.
thank you for your
May it endure many, many years. And may I have Chilla soon. That's Camille's dog, because she's going to be, I'm in her will. We get the dog.
Yes.
So that means she got to go soon. And Camille, we're talking about.
Right.
I fly more than anyone else. It could happen.
awkward though, pull out the swords. On that note, to our witches and warlocks at home, thank you for joining us tonight. We're so glad you're here.
Absolutely.
Thank you for being our friends.
And toast
Yeah.
to you, and give all of your friends a big hug.
Yeah.
My glass is empty. Let's cut this.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye. See you next time.
Thank you for joining us today. Please follow and subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and leave a review. It's so easy to do and such a huge help for us. We appreciate your interactions so much. Want to join us at our table? Make sure to check out our YouTube channel and join our Facebook community. If you've enjoyed this content and wish to support us, take a look at our Patreon page. All information and links will be in our podcast description. Catch you next time.
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM. Women's voices amplified.